Most people think America has the biggest farms in the world, but they're dead wrong. What I'm about to show you will completely shatter that belief. There are farms on this planet so massive they make our largest American ranches look like backyard gardens, and the scale of these operations will blow your mind. Number 7. Clifton Hills Station, South Australia. In 1876, a group of British investors bought what the locals called the land that God forgot. 4.2 million acres of Australian outback, so harsh that temperatures regularly soar over 120 degrees Fahrenheit and rain might not fall for years at a time. Everyone said they were throwing their money into a furnace. Today, that worthless desert has become one of the most profitable cattle stations in the world. Clifton Hills Station spans an area larger than the entire state of Connecticut, where modern cowboys use helicopters and motorcycles because horses simply can't cover the distances required. The station has been operating continuously for nearly 150 years, proving that human determination can make even the harshest environments productive. But here's what'll shock you. This station is so remote that supplies are delivered by airplane because ground transportation would take days. The property is so large that it takes over 8 hours to drive from one end to the other, and workers often spend weeks at remote camps without seeing another human being. Some sections of the station are so isolated that they have their own weather patterns, with different areas experiencing completely different conditions simultaneously. The cattle here are specially bred to survive in conditions that would kill most livestock, traveling miles between water sources on vegetation that looks more like moonscape than pasture. Number 6. Anna Creek Station, South Australia. Deep in the Australian outback sits a cattle station so massive it makes Texas ranches look like hobby farms. Anna Creek Station covers an astounding 6 million acres. That's larger than the entire state of Maryland and makes it the largest cattle station in the world by land area. When the station was first established, it took explorers months just to map the boundaries. The numbers are staggering. This single property is roughly the size of Belgium, yet it runs only about 17,000 head of cattle because the harsh desert environment can only support a few animals per square mile. The station is so remote that workers often go weeks without seeing another human being outside their immediate crew. Mail delivery happens by airplane because there are no roads for hundreds of miles in some directions. Managing Anna Creek requires a completely different approach to ranching than anything Americans are familiar with. Cowboys use helicopters, motorcycles, and GPS tracking to monitor herds across distances that would take days to cross on horseback. The station has its own airstrip, workshops, and living quarters that function like a small town in the middle of nowhere. Water is trucked in or pumped from underground sources hundreds of miles away, and every decision must account for the extreme isolation and brutal climate that defines the Australian outback. The station operates on a budget of millions of dollars annually just for basic maintenance and supplies, with helicopters burning through thousands of gallons of fuel each month to monitor cattle across the vast landscape. Number 5. Mudanjiang City Mega Farm, China. Welcome to the future of agriculture. A Chinese mega farm that spans over 22 million acres and represents the largest agricultural operation ever created by human hands. When the Chinese government announced this project in 2015, agricultural experts around the world said it was impossible. They were wrong. This isn't just a farm. It's an agricultural empire that covers an area larger than South Carolina and produces food for hundreds of millions of people. The Mudanjiang operation specializes in dairy production on a scale that defies imagination, housing over 100,000 dairy cows in facilities that look more like factories than traditional farms. The entire operation is managed using artificial intelligence, robotics, and satellite monitoring that tracks everything from individual cow health to soil moisture levels across millions of acres. This mega farm represents China's strategy for achieving food security through massive, centrally planned agricultural operations. The scale allows for incredible efficiency, automated milking systems, computer-controlled feeding, and precision agriculture techniques that maximize production while minimizing waste. The operation produces enough milk to supply major Chinese cities while also growing feed crops across vast acreages. What makes Mudanjiang truly shocking is how it challenges traditional ideas about farming. This isn't agriculture as most people know it, but industrial food production on a scale that treats farming like manufacturing. The operation employs over 10,000 workers and operates its own processing facilities, transportation networks, and research centers, essentially functioning as a self-contained agricultural city that produces billions of dollars worth of food annually. Number 4. Modern dairy. China. In northeastern China sits modern dairy, a farming operation so massive that it covers 11 million acres and still represents only half the size of China's biggest agricultural operation. When this farm opened in 2011, it wasn't just the biggest farm in China, it was the biggest farm in the world at the time, until even larger operations surpassed it. Modern dairy specializes in dairy production on an industrial scale that most people can't comprehend. The operation houses over 40,000 dairy cows in climate-controlled facilities that maintain perfect conditions year-round. The farm went with a technologically focused approach that was revolutionary for its time, using automated systems that most American farms are only now beginning to adopt. What makes modern dairy remarkable is how it demonstrates that massive-scale agriculture can succeed even in challenging climates, where winter temperatures can drop to dangerous levels, and growing seasons are measured in months rather than year-round production. The operation uses satellite monitoring, precision agriculture, and massive mechanized systems to manage crops across distances that would take days to cross by car. The farm operates over 600 pieces of heavy machinery, including some of the world's largest tractors and combines, while maintaining its own fleet of trucks, trains, and storage facilities. The scale of this operation represents the future of global food production. Massive, technologically advanced operations that can feed entire continents while generating billions in revenue and employing thousands of workers in rural areas where few other economic opportunities exist. Number 3. Al Marai Dairy Farm, Saudi Arabia. In the middle of the Arabian Desert, where temperatures regularly exceed 110 degrees Fahrenheit and rainfall is virtually non-existent, sits one of the world's most technologically advanced dairy operations. When Al Marai announced they were building a mega farm in the desert, agricultural experts said it was impossible. They were spectacularly wrong. Al Marai's mega farm covers over 400,000 acres of desert that has been transformed into productive agricultural land through sheer engineering brilliance and unlimited financial resources. This Saudi operation houses over 170,000 dairy cows in climate-controlled facilities that maintain perfect conditions regardless of the brutal desert environment outside. The transformation required moving mountains of sand and installing infrastructure that rivals major cities. The farm uses desalinated seawater for irrigation and drinking water, pumping millions of gallons daily through systems that would make American farmers' heads spin. The scale of technology at Al Marai is breathtaking. Automated milking systems handle thousands of cows per hour, while computer-controlled feeding systems deliver precisely calculated nutrition to each animal. The farm even grows its own feed crops using circular irrigation systems that create perfect green circles visible from space in the middle of the desert. What makes Al Marai truly mind-blowing is how it proves that modern technology can create productive agriculture anywhere on Earth, shipping products across the Middle East and proving that geography is no longer a limitation for large-scale food production. The farm consumes more electricity than many small cities, operating massive cooling systems, desalination plants, and processing facilities that run 24 hours a day to maintain production in the desert heat. Number 2. Beta Huang Group, China. Covering over 5.3 million acres across northeastern China, the Beta Huang Group represents agricultural planning on a scale that most people can't comprehend. This massive operation was created by combining hundreds of smaller farms into a single, centrally managed agricultural empire that feeds a significant portion of China's population. The logistics alone required moving entire communities and rebuilding infrastructure across an area larger than many countries. The Beta Huang Group specializes in grain production, growing soybeans, corn, and rice across landscapes so vast they require satellite monitoring to manage effectively. The operation uses precision agriculture techniques, GPS-guided tractors, and automated harvesting systems that work around the clock during harvest season to bring in crops from millions of acres. During peak harvest, the sound of machinery can be heard for miles as hundreds of combines work simultaneously across the endless fields. What makes this operation truly remarkable is its integration of technology and traditional farming knowledge. While the scale is thoroughly modern, the farming techniques often incorporate thousands of years of Chinese agricultural wisdom, creating a unique blend of ancient knowledge and cutting-edge technology. The logistics of managing Beta Huang are staggering. The operation employs tens of thousands of workers, operates its own transportation networks, and even has its own research facilities developing new crop varieties and farming techniques. This isn't just a farm. It's an agricultural corporation that functions like a small country dedicated entirely to food production. The group produces over 4 million tons of grain annually and operates its own seed production facilities, machinery manufacturing plants, and food processing centers, creating a completely integrated agricultural ecosystem that demonstrates the future of large-scale food production. Number 1. Rusagro, Russia. At the top of our list sits a Russian agricultural empire that spans over 2.5 million acres across multiple regions, making it one of the largest and most diversified farming operations on Earth. When Rusagro was founded, critics said that large-scale agriculture could never succeed in Russia's harsh climate. They couldn't have been more wrong. Rusagro isn't just massive. It's a vertically integrated agricultural corporation that controls everything from seed production to retail distribution. This Russian giant operates in some of the world's most challenging agricultural conditions, where winter temperatures can drop to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and growing seasons are measured in months, rather than the year-round production possible in warmer climates. Yet, Rusagro has mastered cold climate agriculture on a scale that produces enough food to supply major European markets. The operation grows everything from sugar beets to sunflowers across landscapes so vast that different regions experience completely different weather patterns simultaneously. Rusagro uses satellite monitoring, precision agriculture, and massive mechanized systems to manage crops across distances that would take days to cross by car. What makes Rusagro truly extraordinary is how it demonstrates that massive-scale agriculture can succeed even in the world's most challenging environments, proving that with enough technology, planning, and resources, productive agriculture is possible anywhere on Earth. The scale and success of Rusagro represents the future of global food production. Massive, technologically advanced operations that can feed entire continents. The company operates over 600 pieces of heavy machinery while maintaining its own fleet of trucks, trains, and storage facilities. Rusagro produces over 1 million tons of sugar annually and exports products to over 30 countries, generating billions in revenue while employing thousands of workers across rural Russia where few other economic opportunities exist. The operation has become so successful that it's now expanding into other countries, proving that the Russian model of large-scale agriculture can work anywhere in the world. These 7 massive farms prove that modern agriculture operates on scales that would have been impossible to imagine just a generation ago. From Australian cattle stations larger than entire American states to Chinese mega farms that feed hundreds of millions, these operations represent the cutting edge of global food production and the incredible ingenuity required to feed our growing world. What's most remarkable about these farms is how they've overcome seemingly impossible challenges. Desert farms in Saudi Arabia, frozen tundra operations in Russia, and remote outback stations in Australia all prove that human determination and modern technology can make any environment productive. These aren't just agricultural success stories. They're triumphs of human engineering and innovation.